Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark, this is Spiguyver Backpacking, and it's been a little while since I've had a video out, and it's because work's been really stressing me out, and I've had a lot going on there, and I've been extremely busy there, and there's just been a lot going on. But I did have this hammock out, it was a few weeks ago, when I was doing the video on the Loco Libre Operator Series. And I got a lot of questions about the purple hammock. And so today, I wanted to get this thing strung up, show it to you guys, and talk a little bit about it. So why don't we get into this, and let's get going on this hammock. Okay, so what hammock is this? This is actually from one of the vendors that was one of the first ones that I actually did any reviews or tests on back when I lived in South Carolina. It's from a South Carolina vendor, and it is from Walhalla Hammock and Outdoors. Jason Flowers is the owner, and he does all the work on these things. And so I had tested one of his sets a while ago. I mean, years back, and you know, it was good, but there were some rough areas to it. So it was really cool when Jason reached out to me and he said, "Hey, I've got some new stuff. I'd like for you to take a look at it, test it out. Let me know what you think about it." So just to be upfront, this is not my hammock. I don't own this hammock. I didn't buy this hammock. It was sent to me by Jason to do some testing, and then I'm gonna send it on to somebody else to test out. So while it's in my possession, I've gotten a few nights in it, and I've had some time to play with it, and I had it out to show you guys the Operator Series quilts. And so I wanted to get a chance to really sit down and talk with you guys about what this is, how it's made, show you guys some of the details of it, and let you know who this is for and who it's probably not for. So why don't we get into that right now and take a little bit closer look. All right, so let's talk about some of the details of this hammock. What's the length, what's the width, that type of stuff. What's it made out of? Okay, so this is a double layer 1.0 Monolite hammock. And those double layers, for someone that weighs a little bit more or likes a firmer hammock, that double layer really provides that. And the way that the two layers kind of sit on top of each other and move around, I find that while I don't like to carry the extra weight, double layer hammocks are extremely comfortable. I think anybody that's ever laid in one would attest to that. So this one is 11 feet long, 62 inches wide, and they are available both single layer and double layer. Price is gonna vary based on what you go with. So it's, like I said, 1.0 Monolite. Now the difference is you can get two different top cover options. So this one has a 1.0 single layer Monolite top cover. You can get it to match, you can get it in a different color, or you can go with a nano bugnet. You can get this either in a symmetrical or asymmetrical. This one that I have right now is symmetrical, but you can get it kind of any way that you want to really fit your needs. It has 4 pullouts, so 2 on each side to pull it out and keep it spread nice and wide, and that's really nice. Right now it's a windy day. It's really nice on those windy days so that even if I've got this open, my stuff's not gonna fall out, it's not gonna flop on the ground, and it's gonna keep it nice and open, and it makes getting in and out of it really easy and really nice. The one downside to having 2 pullouts on either side is that if you've got a tarp overhead, now you've got to step over and worry about tripping over more guy lines. So guy lines that are actually inside of your tarp as well. So you're ducking down under your tarp, stepping over guy lines. So that's one downside to having those pullouts. But those pullouts can be really useful, and you don't have to use them. They're little hooks, so you just clip them on and clip them off if you don't want to use them. Makes it really nice. Additionally, up, you can see right here above my head, there is a ridgeline organizer. So that ridgeline organizer is also made of the 1.0 Monolite, and it's got 3 pockets that are all useful. You can slide it where you want, and it works. Now, the top cover bugnet is not fully removable, although you can zip it about 99% of the way off, and the stuff sack that it comes with, you can stuff it into there so that it's out of the way, and you've got a pretty open view. So why don't we take a look at the details, look at some of the close-ups of this thing. So this hammock has double zipper pulls, and those are on each side. And the nice thing about this hammock is that it has the zipper pulls that can be positioned anywhere along the zipper, which is really nice for when you're inside. You can position it so that you can find them at any time. Now, I told you about the pullouts, so here are the pullouts, and this is some shock cord. It's a reflective shock cord so that you don't lose it during the night. And it just has these little hooks on here, so you could hook it on, hook it off, whatever you want. And you can see you've got the other one here. And what that does, if I back up, is it pulls it out really nicely and opens it up. Now, if I get up above and show you, you can see it spreads this thing out really well so that you've got a nice open area, and that top cover or bug net is not drooping in on you while you're in there. It's got quilt hooks so that you can hang your quilt on here anywhere you want. Again, it's a USA product out of South Carolina. Jason Flowers and Walhalla Hammock. So everything on here is made of bug net. He did really nice touches with like the elastic inside of these peaks so that it keeps it tight over the top cover, and so the bugs aren't getting in too easily right there. Everything's sealed up really well at the ends. It's triple whipped for the channel at the end. On this specific hammock, Jason has put on the cinch buckle system, which a lot of people really like. Cinch buckles are easy to use. It's actually part of the continuous loop at the end of the hammock, so you don't have to worry about whether or not you remember or forget it. You just bring your straps, run your straps through, and you're ready to go right there. So that makes it easy. And cinch buckles are one of the easiest systems to adjust. They're a little bit heavier, but they're pretty much foolproof when it comes to using them. Now, getting in and out of this hammock is no different than any other hammock. Kick off your shoes, and you can either lay back or kick your feet through, whichever way works best for you. And just kind of move around, find that sweet spot where you're nice and comfortable and you get a good lay. And yeah, so super comfortable. Like I said, with the 2 layers, it's like the top layer kind of glides over the other layer, and so you can almost move around a little bit better. Now, this one does not have an opening for you to put a sleeping pad underneath. However, I did talk with Jason, and if that's something that you want, he can leave an opening on one side for you to slide a sleeping pad in. 62 inches wide is pretty wide, and the ridgeline is set for a pretty good amount of sag here. So it's pretty high. It's about the full length of my arm up to the ridgeline up there. So it's got a pretty decent amount of sag there. A lot more than a chameleon, more along the lines of something like a dream hammock. So, you know, it's up there, which does at times make getting stuff up into your ridgeline organizer a little bit tough. If you're taller than me, have longer arms, probably less tough. If you're shorter than me, well, it might be a little bit more tough. On other hammocks I've had that were over 60 inches wide, I felt like there was too much fabric. And this one, because of the pullouts, I don't really feel that. Without using the pullouts though, you do get a little bit of flapping of the fabric, at least in my situation. What's cool is you can still see through this Monolite. So while the double layer makes it a little bit more opaque and less transparent down below you, having that single layer above you, you can still see out of it, and it kind of it's kind of nice. It's like a little bit of privacy, keeps in a little bit more warmth, but you can still see out and see the world. It's an interesting fabric for sure. One that I wasn't a huge fan of when it first came out, but I think the feel of it has changed. At first it was a very almost like sandpapery, gritty type feel. And I don't know if that was just the sample that I had gotten to feel what was provided, but this is a lot softer than that stuff. More, almost silky. It's plasticky feeling, but almost silky, and really pretty nice. So I'm gonna get inside, zip it up, and show you guys what it looks like inside. All right, so I am in here, and it's nice and comfortable. I don't have any real problems laying in here at all. The width is nice for being able to get a pretty flat, comfortable, no ridge line, or no calf ridge. Yes, it has a ridge line. No calf ridge, no real problems in here whatsoever. But as you can see through. You can see past me outside. Even though this is a fabric, it's not a no-see-um, it's not a bug net at all. It is just a fabric, but you can still see out, and that's kind of cool. I'll show you how much room I have in here. Just okay, there's the ridgeline organizer, and as you can see, if I reach straight up, I'm just short of touching that ridgeline, and this is my arm fully extended. Ridgeline organizer's there, you can move it along anywhere you want, but because of the pullouts and being weighted and having this thing set up right, it does kind of clamp itself right in here between the top cover and the ridgeline, and so it doesn't move around. I've had a few that if you weighted them and you had your head end a little bit lower, this was going to slide. This does not slide all that easily. It's something that you actually have to move physically. You can see here, I've got my feet down here. There's absolutely no calf ridge underneath my feet. I can see outside. Lots of room in here. Comfortable hammock. Not bad. So this hammock is actually called the KW. If you get it in the single layer, it's called the Wishbone. So if you're interested in something like this, reach out to Jason Flowers. He's on Facebook, or go to Walhalla Hammock and Outdoors. Check his stuff out. Might be something you're interested in there. And you know, I enjoy seeing the cottage vendors keep improving. The smaller ones, the more local ones. So I got in touch with Jason. We kind of got together when I was living in South Carolina. He's a South Carolina vendor. And so to see the quality of product he was producing then, and I've seen the posts, I've seen people extremely happy with what they've gotten from him. Great reviews, just a lot of happy, satisfied customers. To see the product that I had back then, that actually Beekeeper has one of his hammocks, and it's a little bit rough. Some of the finish is a little bit rough on it. This one is a huge step in the right direction. Seams are much nicer, much straighter. You know, there's little things here or there that you could nitpick, but overall it's a great product. A whole lot better. Just the way everything is attached, it looks much more professional, less slop in it, and much more refined at this point. But it's been a few years. It's been a few years, and he's had time. You know, he's producing hammocks every week. He's coming out with new stuff, and he's developing, and he's working with people and doing custom stuff. And I think just the constantly doing it and learning from mistakes and fixing them is a great way to go about it, and that's the way he's doing it. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. The KW hammock from Walhalla Hammock and Outdoors, or if you don't want to go with that, the Wishbone, which is the single layer. Monolite 1.0. Very, very cool design here, using that as the top cover as well. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys checking this out. I will see you guys down the trail.